This is Halloween.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting show. So tonight we're having a show about ghosts and your ghoulies. See, so we got to watch out for the ghoulies, you know. And
Definitely.
I was going to do this. Hang on. I was going to do that. That's
good
evening and welcome. It's about as frightening as sort of, I don't know, a bacon sandwich from a local cafe, isn't it?
I'm not scared.
No,
No.
I mean, I almost wet myself with shock. Anyway, tonight we got an absolute cracking show. So, what we got tonight? Well, we got a birthday.
We have got a birthday.
Hollyoak's birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you! Hey! And congratulations. You know, you really don't look 105, but you know, we won't say anything.
You're wearing well, Bob.
Happy birthday, Bob. Now we've also got a serious call out as well, so we've got to get all. Are you all serious? Yeah. And by the way, it's so frightening, this show, that it's actually turned Deb's hair black. But don't say anything because you don't want to. You know,
She
Don't
doesn't.
mention it.
She doesn't know.
No. By the way, I haven't introduced her. We've got Deb von Darkshire and Andy Codes, who you'll recognise from Codes of the Unknown, whose advert might come on tonight. What do you think?
I think
If
it
he
will.
pays us, what do you think, Deb? 20 fop
Well,
bobs?
Codes of the
I've
Unknown
got,
are our
Or
sponsor.
30 fop bobs? Yeah. Because, you know, we've got our own currency, Andy.
I've got a flake. Is that
Thank
any
you.
good?
No,
What do you That's worth about 30 fop bobs, isn't it?
yeah,
And a
roughly.
Malteser, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find something else.
But before we go any further, there's a gentleman called Ken from Kent. He couldn't be here for a minute, and he's kindly asked whether we could do a call out for Stand in the Park in Kent. And there's two Stand in the Parks there. There's Moat Park, okay, and there's Gillingham Stand in the Park.
Right.
And tonight at 7 o'clock, well, it's 8 o'clock now, so we're about an hour late. They are actually doing a candlelight vigil, and last year Chico apparently was there, so I've been told. And what this is for, it's 7 o'clock onwards, so I don't know how long it's going to last for, but obviously it is tonight, and it's for how can I put this? For children that have been abused, but also children that how can you say, have been used by certain high level people for certain other things. And I've got to be careful because it's YouTube. And what it is,
not a good day.
That's right. And they're going to have a silent vigil, candlelit vigil. And what we ask people, I'm going to remind you at the end of the show, it's after the show if you want to do a minute silence for those poor children. Okay, so hello Ken, I hope I've read it all out right. And if I haven't, he's probably shouting, saying, you sod, you know. So, as I say, it's a very serious subject, and we like to keep things happy, but that is very serious. We can't really do a minute silence on this show, but at the end of the show, if you would like to show your respect, just a little, you know, little respect, because there are children that have been used, tortured, and there's some horrendous things, which we know what's going on. But
I have been reading about that over the last couple of days, and it's not good.
No, that's right.
Today is not good.
Yes, yes. Something that sort of ends in Chrome as well, but we won't go in there.
No,
yes. We're called and nothing to do with Microsoft. Anyway, or it might be, I don't know. But anyway, on with the show. So, ghosts and ghoulies. And I believe you, Deb von Darkshire,
Von Darkshire.
Von Darkshire, have got a creepy towel
Yes, I
to
have.
say. Yes.
There's a house just outside Leeds called Temple Newsham. It was born. It wasn't born. It was built. Between
Well,
15.
like, give birth to an house.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking what I've been drinking, Deb?
I'm actually on a cold. I've got a cold cappuccino in my B glass.
I see.
Yeah, it was built between 1500 and 1520 by Sir Arthur Ingram, and he was a very wealthy man, very, very wealthy man. And his granddaughter lived with him. His granddaughter was called Mary, and he'd bought her for a christening. He bought her a string of pearls, and this string of pearls cost an absolute fortune. So anyway, she went to a party, bloody fireworks. She went to a party off in the horse and carriage and what have you at a friend's house, and it was a really fine party. Everybody had the best clothes, the best jewellery on, and on the way back, they got waylaid by highwaymen, and the highwaymen demanded all the jewels that the travellers had. So, of course, she had to reluctantly give a string of pearls. So by the time she got back home to Temple Newsham, she was absolutely distraught, crying, beside herself. So she fell into a bit of a fitful sleep. The next day she got up, and it was as if she'd not remembered anything from the night before. She went through all the day doing her usual business and what have you, and never even gave it a thought. Went to bed that night and looked in a jewellery box. Couldn't find her pearls, and she turned the house upside down. She was pulling cabinets out, pulling drawers out. She was tipping wardrobes out. She couldn't find these pearls, and she just went into this complete breakdown and starved herself to death. And she was only 14.
Oh, poor.
So as the time's gone on, obviously, she's haunted the house. So people have had cold spots. They've heard her whispering, "Where are my pearls?" There's been like slamming of furniture in the house. Like people have heard all this going on when there's nobody there. Andy came over last year and we actually did a walk around the gardens. I have got a couple of, I've had to put them as videos, but obviously they're not moving. If I can
These are photos that we took.
No, I got 2 off the internet because when I can
Man of crap.
No, it's just that it's daylight. So this is from above.
That's where we sat at that bench.
That's right. This is actually the back of the house because it's in a C shape. That's actually the back of the house. The grounds were designed by Capability Brown.
Oh,
right.
And we walked all the way around that. That bit with the hedges is quite creepy. But going back
creepy
to
at night. But then sorry, I was just gonna say the markings in the bushes are the
Knights
Templar.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It gets to 1978, 79. No, it must have been 79. My mum and dad had divorced, split up, and my dad was seeing this other woman. So we took her and her dog up to Temple Newsham because obviously there's just grounds, the fields and everything. And I got bored like throwing the ball for the dog, so I wandered off. And I wandered up to the back. Well, it's not the back, it's the side.
Mm-hmm.
Just below the windows, just below the white tower in the middle, there's writing that runs round. You can only just see it where the white is that runs round the top. There's writing in that. It's inscription. And I was reading it. And the window underneath, as I got to that and looked down, there was a lady stood there. She looked like she was made out of cigarette smoke, only a young lady. And she was staring down at me with this kind of weird smile on her face. And she had a hand there. And as I'm staring at her and kind of looking around, and it looked like somebody blew at her and she just vanished, dissipated. And I never knew anything about the ghost of Temple Newsham, the blue lady, until I got older, obviously. And it was like, I think that's what I might have seen. So there's a spooky story for Halloween for you.
That certainly is. It could be that your because everything is I know I keep on about this frequency, vibration, and energy.
Yeah.
It could be that those of us that can see ghosts are on a similar frequency to the ghosts, and people that can't see them are not on that frequency. But Capability Brown, rather, did all the gardens for my ancestors' place at Powys Castle.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
That's
Hang
interesting.
on, no, but unfortunately, the Powys family didn't have any heirs to the throne in the 1660s or 70s, so they sold it to the Herberts. So, I mean, I was practicing the wave, I was getting out in the morning, I'm talking down to people. Because do you remember the Prince Philip triple condescension?
The
He
what?
would, what was it? State the obvious, ask the question, answer it all in one sentence.
Oh,
So,
right.
You're Deb, are you? I see. And the royals do that, don't they? They state the obvious, so they say, so you've got black hair, have you? I
Yeah.
see. See, so they state the obvious, ask the question, answer it all in one sentence,
Yeah.
just to be condescending to you.
And then walk off.
And walk off. And I was practicing it. I was getting really good at it. But I found out that the only thing I'll get from them is probably a chewing gum or something.
Yeah. Sorry
So
about
there we
that.
are, a bit of family history there.
Yeah.
But that really would mean, because my grandfather always believed that we were connected with Powys Castle. It's a rare name. That we might be due for some sort of inheritance or something, but no.
However hard you've digged, you found nothing. Dug, you found nothing.
Because they
Just
sold
keep
it to the
digging.
Herbert. Yeah. They actually sold it to the Herbert, so I've got no claim on it. Sods.
Yeah.
You can always change your name by default to Herbert. See how that goes.
Hmm.
Get your DNA tested and send them results.
That's right. Oh, by the way, everybody, I'm not as tiddly as I was last week. I do admit that. A little bit merry last week, wasn't I?
Well, we had 5 slurps
a
of
bit
Guinness.
depressed before the show, so I thought better cheer myself up. So I was, but no, I'm actually teetotal, but I do occasionally have a drink. Occasionally, last Monday and this Monday. Anyway, have you got anything?
A Monday thing.
Andy? Have you? I bet you. Have you got any creepy stories?
I have. I'm just trying to think of one. Oh, shall I tell you one about what happened to me? I've never shared it.
Oh, go for it.
So, they always start of where I used to live. So, as you know, where I used to live, it was just it was just fields and it was fields and everything at the back.
Yeah.
And there's the sewer works, a golf course, and like not park, but like green area that you just had paths and you'd walk through. There was a bit, we used to call it the pink path. It was just pink gravel.
Right.
Yeah. And it'd go around the college and it'd loop round and you'd come back. So you could do a big loop. Depending on which way you went, it could take about an hour, 2 hours.
Right.
But it was a nice walk in the summer. And you could see as you walk, when you get to a certain point, you could look at the house where we lived. So when walking with my mum, dad and brother, you could always look at the house so we knew where we was all the time. Anyway, this time I'd gone on a bike ride with my brother. He's 3 years older than me, and his mate, who's a couple of years older. Now, there used to be a train line, and this train line got shut down. There was a train crash in the early 1900s.
Right.
And there was a bridge called the Devil's Drop. Now, apparently, as this train was going under the bridge, the devil jumped off the bridge onto the train, and the bridge collapsed, causing this train to come off the tracks, smash into the fields. There's like a stream and everything. And even back in the 90s, you'd still see the wheels off the train embedded into the banking.
Ooh.
So we'd gone on this one part. So I said there used to be a bridge, but obviously it's not now. It drops down. It's like a dip and then comes back up. So we're on this top bit. We're on our bike and we'd stopped and we're just having a look round. I think it's summer holidays. So it dropped, there was banking either side, so it dropped down like that, but it was probably about 8 foot across. So even if it fell off, I'd have just fell on my side and want to roll down the hill or anything. So I had my brakes and him and my brother and his mate are talking, and there's just a big gust of wind. It went through me and it pushed my bike about 3-4 inches forward.
Right.
with the brakes on, and you could. It was like it skidded. It's like I was stationary. I wasn't moving,
Mm.
and the bike just went. And you could see the mat. It wasn't me pushing it
Oh,
because I couldn't have done it. I was only about 7.
right.
Yeah. So
That's creepy.
yeah, you could feel the wind go through you.
Yeah.
But my brother didn't feel it, and his mate, and they was only about 3-4 foot in front of me. Excuse me.
How near were you to the crash site then?
That
right
was probably about 100 yards behind me, if that.
Right. Mm.
So it's
Mm.
yeah, you go around in a loop, but if you cut left, you could drop down and go to where this Devil's Drop is.
Right.
And then there's a church in a place called Monton where a lot of the people that were on the train were buried.
Right. Yeah.
I remember there's a year in high school, there was one of the, I think it was one of the English groups, like one of the other classes, they did a project on it.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. So,
Spooky.
and that church, as the crow flies, is probably about a mile and a half away from the actual crash site.
Right. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Spooky. That is spooky.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I said, I was only about 7.
Yeah.
That's right. That really is spooky because I'll tell you another one is ghost sounds.
Yes.
Because there are ghost sounds now. For example, the English Civil War. Where's that battle that was in Oxfordshire? I can't think when it was. Battle of, was it Moresby or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Nasenby.
Naseby, yeah.
That's up the road. That's up the road from me, literally.
Yeah. And apparently, occasionally on the anniversary of that battle, people are hearing cannons and
Yeah.
whatever going off.
Yeah.
And that happened in that happened at the was it Nasebury, I think it is, wasn't it?
Nasebury.
Nasebury.
It's off the A14. Begins
Yes.
with
Yes. I mean, I think the Roundheads, I think they went on the A14, didn't they? They used transit, full transits. No, I'm only joking. No, but Nasebury. But apparently, similar happened in 1953 in Dieppe, where the people were woken up with gunfire early in the morning, and it was the 10th anniversary of the Battle of Dieppe, which was in 1943. And they could hear this gunfire going off, but there's no battle going on. They could actually hear it. So that has actually happened.
Yeah.
And these sort of there's ghost sounds that you can hear. But do you notice when there's anything creepy going on, the temperature does actually drop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it an energy shift.
Yeah.
You're spot on. And that leads me into, I went to see a talk by, what was his name? Oh, it happens at Gettysburg too, says Mike. Right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you seen the footage on YouTube of the couple took of the soldiers, ghost soldiers walking up through the
No, I haven't
woods at
seen that.
Gettysburg? Oh, it's creepy.
No, not yet.
Proper creepy.
Really? Because Michael Bentine, you know, he was the fourth goon. He's been dead a long time, and anybody old enough to remember the goons and that type of thing. It's a bit before my time, but
you'll remember Michael Bentine. He was on. He did a kids program, but I've forgotten what
Potty
it was.
Time. Was it Potty Time? Square. Well, I saw he did before he died. He did these series of lectures, and he was at the local town, whatever they call it, not town hall, but local whatever theatre.
Oh, like Village Hall.
That's right. And he was quite he was fascinating. It was the quickest, I don't know how many hours he was there for, but it actually flew by. And he said his father was a scientist, and he did tests and that, and it's to do with high energy and low energy.
All right.
And what you said about energy changes, and he believed that buildings are like recorders.
Yeah.
When the temperature's right, they play back.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a recording. I think in some instances yes, and some instances no. So I think that may be a technical phenomenon because my cousin saw a ghost horse years ago.
Ooh.
And he felt the wind, and his mates did, as it passed.
Yeah.
And when he went to the pub, this was in the West Country, and
Yeah.
they said about this. I mean, this is when he was, I think, a teenager. All the locals said, "Oh yeah, that's old Ned." And they've all seen it as like a sort of a common thing for them to
Oh,
see
right.
old Ned, you know. But I think it must have been in, I don't know, Somerset or Devon or somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but you was going to say, Andy, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sorry, you just reminded me of something about that. So, like you said, it was all fields at the back of the house, so a lot of sound used to carry.
Mm.
The nearest train station at the back is a place called Eccles, which is going into Salford and then into Manchester. It's like just before you get into Trafford Park.
Yes.
So like Kellogg's and United and all that. So it's going south of the city. We'd be laying in bed, 'cause I used to share a room with my brother, or even downstairs watching TV if it was like a weekend, and it could be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You'd hear trains going past. And there'd be like no trains. The last train's like 11 o'clock. This is back in the 80s.
Yeah.
There was never any train. And it wasn't a major train station. If you wanted to go anywhere, you'd have to get a train into Manchester, either Piccadilly or Victoria, swap, and then it's like the equivalent to like what it was at Euston.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you'd have to go to one of the main stations to get a train, but there's nothing after 11 o'clock. But you would hear trains throughout the night, and you could tell it was coming from like literally probably about half a mile from the back of the house.
Yeah.
So
Spooky.
you just got used to it. Just got used to it. It never freaked me out.
Yes.
No. Well, that's what it doesn't when you're a kid, though, does it? You're more curious than anything because you're kind of listening and you don't think too much about it.
Yeah.
What do you think about these spiritualist churches where they're supposed to sort of faith heal and they believe in the dead and they're talking? I don't know what to think.
I've joined up.
Have you joined a spiritualist church?
I used to be a member of a spiritualist church years
I'm
ago.
fascinated. What goes on? Is it full of elderly ladies and old blokes? And...
Oh, no. All sorts of people go. There are the elderly ones that go because obviously that's what they've been brought up with and they've carried it through. But there's a lot more younger people going now.
Oh.
It depends. Like if I go on a Tuesday afternoon, when you go in, it's an hour's worth of healing. So you've got your own file, and they come and you tell them you're there, obviously, or they just get your file out when you walk in, and then one of the healers will come up and take you back to the front, and it's amazing. I mean, they do put hands on. One of the healers that I went to years ago, I'd done my back in, and I was absolutely crippled. I was managing to walk upright. I didn't actually look like I had done anything. But I went with my sister-in-law to this little scout hut because they had this healing demonstration. And the woman called me to the front and I sat down and she went straight to my back where the pain was. And she had her hands about that far off me back. Didn't touch me. And it felt like a radiator at the back of me. The heat was amazing. And I came out of there, I could float. It sorted me out completely.
Because I've been told I might have these skills. I don't know. It would be conceited, so I have. I don't know. Because it's mainly empaths, if you're empathic people, that are healers. Because we have this sort of, whatever it is, I don't know. And I mean, I saw a woman the other day and she sort of went, and she sort of as if she'd known me, you know, sort of, oh, you're empathic, aren't you? I said, how do you know? And she sort of, this was one of these sort of spiritual sort of places, you know. But I mean, I think they do bring, you do have church services type things in the spirit, in the spiritual church.
On the Tuesday afternoon, for example, you do there's the hours healing, and then you go back into the kitchen and have a coffee and biscuits and stuff, and then a medium will come and do a demonstration. But before that, they kind of do a little healing thing. It's sort of prayers, but it's not, and it is a bit towards God, but it's not full on religious-y. It's more to raise the energy and to protect the people in there.
Give it a good vibe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Candy, I didn't catch that, was I?
No, I was just saying to give it a good vibe.
Yeah.
To heighten the energy, I suppose.
Do they do omming and things like that? No.
No.
None of that
business.
Sorry?
Not yet.
None of that business. Not till I get back there.
No, they do tarot cards though, don't they?
No.
Don't they?
No, just do pure mediumship. Lady stands at the front and gets a spirit guide, comes in, and then she's giving people messages.
Good heavens.
That's all that happens.
You'll have
'Cause
to
I've
set
seen-
a table up at the back, Deb. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, could actually. Yeah.
Do they do table lifting where they put their fingers on a table and they can move around and all this?
No.
Because
You're
When I was
not
at
selling
school-
it.
there was a teacher that said he used to go to these seances or whatever. And he saw a trumpet spinning around
Right.
why don't you go, Chris? No, I went before the show, so I don't need to go again. You know, I flushed the loo, so I'm all right there. You know, so thanks for the same. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it sounds interesting, actually.
It is interesting. I enjoy it.
I've been looking for one round here, but Northampton don't do them. Yeah,
Don't we?
might have to start my own from the shed.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I'm glad it's not the full-on religion, you know, and all that. But do you sort of go in there and someone says, "Hang on, your great auntie Lily has just spoken to me," that type of thing?
You can go. I mean, I haven't had a message from the one that I go to at all yet. But I mean, you can go every week and not get a message. But this one that I'm going to, I've been to a few, and the one that I used to be part of was like one big family. It was lovely. I went to the main one in Leeds, and it was cliquey. It was a select group of little old people that went in and sat at the front, and they just got messages all the time. It was like, "Can I come to you, Edna? Can I come to you?" So it was really cliquey. They didn't tend to like outsiders. But the one that I've joined now is, again, it's like a family. Everybody's just so nice. It's lovely.
Do you pay?
I've paid for like a year's membership, but you don't have to know.
Is it a
If
lot?
you pay to be a
You don't
member,
have to give me the full price.
no. If you pay to be a member, it means that if they get, like, we had Stephen Holbrook the other month, the medium from the telly.
Yeah.
He came, so my ticket would have been 12 quid instead of 15, or 10 quid instead of
No,
15.
so you get this discount on. All right.
Yeah, and it just sort of raises the funds for them too.
Do you
Yeah, I
think-
suppose.
Somebody told me though that they are being infiltrated because they got this thing about what was it? All this new agenda or whatever it is. You know, all these rainbows and all this, that, and the other. Have you
Right.
found that at all?
No, no. I think they spot somebody that was trying to infiltrate him. I think because they're quite a tight group. They've all been together for a long time, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Can't understand why they're always in these old huts.
Oh,
That's
this is
sort
an old church, like an old chapel. It's
Yeah.
building. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Stained glass windows.
it's
and
interesting actually.
Beams. It's lovely.
Yeah. But do they? There are some mediums though that tell you, and they say, "Hang on a minute, you got toothache or something." Do you get that? Or you know, I'd go and have your heart checked or something.
They don't tend to give you bad news. I don't think
No.
they might sort of edge round it, but they wouldn't say, "Oh, Auntie Maureen's going to die a week on Tuesday."
Yeah.
Sorry.
They'd probably just sort of say something like, "There's a, there's an end coming to something," and
Yeah, you generalise it rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
direct.
yeah,
Yes, because
Yeah, sorry for laughing, just the way you said it.
yeah, because I think my mother went to one. She went to a good one and a bad one, not a spiritualist church, but she went to one of these faith healers or whatever. And one of them, I think, he got struck off because you're saying to people, "Oh, I'll go and have your foot checked because it could be dangerous what you got wrong with your foot or
no,
something."
that's wrong.
And but the one my mother went to was brilliant. He was an old chap, and he said, and she was in her teens. And I think when the girl's in her teens, you know, she's just sort of starting out womanhood, and you know, go into details and that. And she was a bit nervous, and the chap said, "My dear," and he's a real old boy, was he? He said, "My dear," he said, "the body works from the mind. Get your mind in order, and your body will be all right." And I thought, well, that nice thing to say, you know.
Yeah,
He
it's true.
said, "Calm down. You've got nothing to worry about." And I thought, really nice old boy sound, you know. I mean, probably be about 200 years old now, but you know.
Probably, yeah. Probably still alive.
Yes, yeah. That's interesting because I always thought spiritualist churches were very religious and that type of thing.
There is religion sort of around them, but I think that's just for the fact that it could even be because it's in an old chapel or whatever. There's just a hint of religion. The last one that I went to was more, they used to pray for animals and children and people that were less fortunate, and that it's kind of along those lines rather than full on, you know.
Yeah. Is it changing those things like energy, frequency, and vibration? Is it into that sort of thing? Like saying that you imagine that, supposing you want to be, I don't know, so you want to own a luxury yacht, you imagine you've got the luxury yacht and you're thankful for that luxury yacht, and you just keep on imagining you've got a luxury yacht and you'll get a luxury yacht, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds, I don't like that idea of money. I don't think that's a bit unpalatable, but if you're trying to change your life and change the paradigm, that's where I can see it coming in. But we're going off the question of ghosts now. Are these spirits, this sort of thing? What I'm always concerned about is if people that are inviting the wrong things in. That's what I always think, because I do believe that there are demons. That's what always bothers me. Is that a risk at those sort of places?
I don't think so.
No.
I've never come across that any sort of. I think if anybody's got a dark energy like that, that's the sort of place they'd stay away from, really.
Yeah. They'd pick up on it straight away.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very interesting, you know, because, no, it's a fascinating subject. What annoys me, though, is when you see these most haunted shows where they try to make it a program. Yeah. Oh, hang on. There's Mary knocking for Dick, you know.
It's all
I can't watch it anymore.
No, it's all the taunting for me. I don't hold with taunting spirit. I just think that's really wrong, and that's why I stopped watching the main one. Because one Halloween they've gone up to, I think it was Pendle, and because nothing was happening, they just started saying, "Come on, then, if you think you're clever." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not watching this anymore."
It's all right you saying that, because then when it starts using its energy against you and you can't fight it because it's not a physical thing, you're effed, basically.
Yeah, you are.
It's not worth it. That's one thing I will never ever do while I'm out investigating.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's like fighting with an empty bag, and you're not going to win.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit worrying, isn't it? Because I mean, going on further, we've talked about sort of ghost sounds and things like that. Do you think that we have a spirit guide, or do we, or some sort of guardian angel?
Yes.
I do. My father did. My father believed.
I know I do.
During the war, a guardian angel.
Yeah, I know I've got a spirit guide because I've got a pendulum and chart. Started doing it through speaking to Deb and Joe Weeks and getting into it a bit. And I've kind of when I had my operation and that, I kind of stopped it for a while, but I've got back into it over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And definitely have a spirit guide.
Really?
Yeah. It's told me its name, where it's from, when they were born, when they died. And I even checked the name because I'd not heard the name before. So they said he was born in Portugal, and I checked this name, and it's a very common Portuguese name. It's Geno, Jeno, and it's male or female, and it can be first or surname. And it was just, I didn't even know. I just thought it was made up name. And when I checked on the internet, and it's Geno is a very, very popular Portuguese name. And there's a lot of Portuguese names in Africa because they speak a lot of French, Portuguese, Spanish, German. There's a lot of European speaking people in Africa. But yeah, Geno is very. It was just weird. I wrote it all down. I've got the chart. Do you want me to show you what chart I use?
Yes, please. That's fascinating because I actually I was told by a palmist once that I have a warrior sort of just guiding me. And this warrior is one of these blokes with the shaven heads and a bit of the old hair back. And he said he's Mongolian or something. He said, and this is what gives me my sort of fighting spirit, because I'm a very peaceful person, but a bit like a volcano, That's It's funny. He reckons that we've got like a sort of a warrior spirit in us.
Yeah. Well, this is. I'll try and do it so the light doesn't reflect off it.
I can see it. Yes, and no.
So
Yeah.
use that. They are very close. I hold the pendulum so it's at that point,
Yes.
and then it only swings out about an inch. It doesn't like if you was to swing it, you don't have that much control on it. So I use that for spelling and numbers in basic yes or no, and then I just use that 5-point chart if it's like more indirect ones.
I got you.
So that's just like yes, no, don't know sort of thing.
That's fascinating.
But 90% of the time I use this one.
So you use a pendulum over that, do you?
And
do
this
you
is
use a pendulum over there?
Yeah.
Do you use a pendulum?
So I'll use this one.
Yeah.
But the thing with this, I don't know if you can see, so that's got like a ball on top.
Yeah.
So if you look at the bottom, it's not spinning round, the actual pendulum, but I'm spinning that ball round. So if I hold that and turn it, you can see the pendulum's not turning. I can't get it all in camera shot. So even if I spin it round, I don't have any control over it. It's like a sleeve. So if I hold it there, then just ask questions, and it does work.
Wow.
But it works for me, shall I say.
Is that an Egyptian pendulum? Because at the bottom you can have like an Egyptian, ancient Egyptian type pendulum, can't you?
Do you know, I bought it on Amazon.
Ah.
So I think it's either brass or copper, and it's just got a little. Oh, I'm holding it wrong. So you can unclip it till it comes apart. So
I
you
see.
can put.
I think it isn't a copy of an ancient Egyptian type
Is
one.
it?
Yes.
So I just call it upside down Christmas tree.
Just in there.
Yeah, people have called it other stuff, as you could probably imagine. Some sort of plug, but that's all I'll say. But it works. It works.
Really?
Really does. Some of the questions I've asked it to the outcome over like the few months after have been absolutely spot on. Some stuff it's got completely wrong. But it's not always too far from the truth. I do that 7 days a week. I don't think I'd ever do a Ouija board.
Oh,
that's something else completely different. That's messing with danger. That really is.
Well, we both know what happened with John Hamer, Deb, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And when he was about, I think, was it when he was a teenager? Luckily, it was a spirit that was put the fear of God up them to stop messing around with it. I can't remember what the spirit said, Deb. Can you remember?
No, I can't either. Was it something like
what it
get
was?
Get out, or I don't know.
Yeah, he said, don't mess with something or other, and it was possibly not an evil one.
Yeah,
it was a good one that warned them, and then through the ball just went everywhere. And
right.
Something like don't mess with things you don't understand or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. Don't mess with. Yeah. So it was pretty good of whatever it was, you know.
Yeah. See, I was a bit dubious about doing this at first, and I thought, you know, there's no harm in trying it, and because I always ask before I start, am I okay to contact you? If there's anybody, if my spirit guides are, there's anybody else that'd like to communicate? I always ask first. Polite when I ask the questions. Most of the time I do the questions in my head. If I'm in the house on my own, it doesn't matter. But if I'm sat in the bedroom, they'll be like, Becky, Andy's talking to himself again. He's asking himself questions. So a lot of the time I do it in my head, and I always say thank you for answering, whether I get not a negative, whether I get a blank answer or pointing towards an answer that I was looking for.
Yeah.
But I don't. What
it was totally wrong on one answer that you asked, though, wasn't it?
Hey?
It was totally wrong on one answer. One question.
There's one of them, completely wrong.
Can't talk about it.
No. But I always ask it. I don't ask it like in-depth questions,
No.
and I always ask stuff that not help me, Deb. Not what I know,
Yeah,
but I ask it more personal questions towards me.
yeah,
So stuff about my life and where I've been and where I'm heading and stuff that's going on. Because if I ask it things that are going on or have gone on that only I know, and it gives me the answer, it's like it must be true because how would it know? And I'm
Yeah.
not swinging it. If you try and swing it, I
Mm.
couldn't even get it go to ABC one after the other.
and if you ask it a question that it doesn't know the answer to, it vibrates.
Yeah, it kind of like I'll show you. It kind of like so you're holding it,
It's
and it
wobbling
feels
about.
like it's like it's doing that. It's
Yeah,
not doing that, but that's the feeling you get.
yeah, because it doesn't know the
It's
answer.
like it's being pulled down.
Could we have a look at that chart again? Because I didn't quite
Yeah,
get.
of course you can.
I mean,
It's a
is it
This
a
brilliant.
is
kind
just one that I
the
printed
one
off.
I've heard is yes or no, where you have a piece of paper and you just write yes on one side, no on the other side. So what does it? Oh, you've got yes and no either side there.
Yes and no, then
yeah.
you've got your numbers across, and then you've
But
got your letters. So it'll
what are they
individually
for?
swing.
So it
So-
swings to the letters or the numbers.
Yeah,
So if you
spells
said,
out.
I don't
Yeah.
know,
So say my finger's a pendulum,
mm,
it'll go. Is it 8:45 on a Monday night? And it'll do. It'll only
Yeah.
swing a little bit like that, and then you go. Then I'll say, right, thank you. Can I ask you another question? And then it'll slow down and stop there.
Yeah.
And then you'll ask it something else, and then it might swing to no, but it will never go more than that. When it's
Well, mine
swinging,
does.
it will swing to
Mine
there
goes
and then
up to
stop
the left.
there. No, mine just does that.
No,
But it never swings past that bottom
no, it doesn't.
horizon. It will
No.
never go past that, no matter what.
that's interesting.
It's
So
brilliant.
you could just have the yes no, couldn't you? You could just say,
Pretty
I
much,
don't
yeah.
know.
If you just want,
So you might say, I don't know, will I bump into, I don't know, someone I haven't seen for a long time next Wednesday? And you go, yes or no. Something as simple as that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, will I ever hear from so and so again? Or
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty good for.
because I asked. Sorry, I was just going to say I asked about something because I wasn't 100% sure about it, and its response was, "No, not yet." So I said, "All right then. When would I be able to communicate with him?" And they actually came back with the date.
Yeah.
And I worked out that date was exactly 3 weeks. Was it 3 weeks? They said, Deb.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
3 weeks after their passing.
Yeah.
It said you will not. Pretty much, you won't be able to communicate with them before that date.
Yeah.
And also,
So when it's
yeah.
telling me stuff like that, and I have no idea about how the spirit world works, I couldn't have made that up in my head.
No.
So
That's
Yes.
weird.
yeah,
That is really. I'll tell you another one with numerology.
I'd never do anything dark with it
No.
No.
because that now you just don't. You may as well become best mates with Alistair Crowley and go on
Might as well,
orgy
yeah.
sprees with him or something.
Well, I've seen a terrifying seance twice when I was a kid, and it scared the
Yeah.
living daylights out
Really?
of me. Yeah, it really did. I've probably said this before, and it
I
was
don't
at
know.
school. Yes,
School?
Really?
yes, at school. And there was where I was. There was some kids that had been moved up from the East End. And
Right.
what they used to do is move families from the East End out to the sort of suburbs a bit
Yeah.
and put them in the same roads. And
Yeah.
so they all lived out. And do you know that true East Enders, they're sort of a little bit Romany, I believe, their backgrounds. But you always knew them because they had darker skin than the other kids, these East Enders. They're like gypsies, very dark skin.
Right.
And they used to go hot. Well, their parents used to go hot picking and things like that. But anyway, they knew all about seances and things. And I must have been about 11 or 12 at the time. And they laid a child out. They moved the desks around. And the first time, can't remember whether the teacher was there or not. I don't think the teacher was. And they laid now, you know, the sort of bully type. They
Yeah.
laid this bully out, and they stood round with hands, and they did this chant. And then they said there was an accident, and they
Right.
chanted, and they said there's terrible, and he's dead. And this kid just sprung up, went and screamed like hell.
Oh.
And the teacher, now we got this because there was a teacher that was into this sort of things, you know, sort of spirituality and that. Well, that's not spirituality, but you know, creepy things. And then the next time, a teacher came along. She wanted to see this because she didn't know anything about this.
Right.
And these East End kids stood round, and they put hands on this, again, a real bully type. You know, I'm not frightened of this type of kid that wouldn't want to be shown up. Because in a mixed school, and they said, accident, he's dead. And again, this other kid screamed blue murder. He said, I've never. And afterwards, we said, what's the matter with you? Because you're right, bully type. He said, I've never been so terrified. He said, it's horrendous. And she said, okay, that's enough. We're never going to do this again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I saw it twice, and you know, that haunted me. That really did haunt me.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen anything like it. Because you know, when you're a kid, you always have the you know type. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that there is definitely this sort of underworld type thing. But the other thing is that gut feeling. They say because your gut, what goes into your stomach goes up around your brain and things like that, and intuition. And you know what we were talking about last week about how our intuition and feelings have gone up on a graph up, and then they're trying to put it down again.
Yeah.
I mean, you notice there's some people that can't feel love.
No.
They can't understand love. And there's not always psychopaths. Lots of, how can I put this politely? Workers in the sex industry.
Yeah.
A lot of them have got psychological problems where they can't feel love. So they feel that having this physical thing with strangers is trying to fulfill something that they can't achieve. But a person that's an empath could not do that job because they're very developed with their love skills. And when I say love skills, they are very passionate people. Whereas you notice these people like porn artists and things like that, they're not passionate.
No,
They
they're not.
have
It's just a job.
MPs not passionate. But I think also this thing about love and that, do you think there's spirits that actually promote love and kindness, and there's other ones that are hate and vile and things like that?
Yeah.
But I do think there are good spirits out there that latch onto you and help you.
I don't think that, like, bad people that pass, such as really evil people, I don't think that changes when they pass. I think that they hold on to that. That's their. That's why there's like dark spirits and lighter spirits.
But you have to remember, you've got to have a balance of good and evil.
Yeah.
You're right.
You can't have one without the other, can you?
No.
Oh, I agree with you. It's the yin and the yang, isn't it? It's the right
You've
thing.
got to have opposites, or nothing would work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the very strange thing, though, that gets me is I can go into buildings and I get a feeling about buildings.
Yeah.
Now, do you get this? That. You walk in, you go,
oh no.
Oh, I've done it. I've gone in and walked straight back out again.
Yeah.
I can't go in there. Just can't go in.
No.
Dominion, Tottenham Court Road in London. I was taken there when I was a kid to see a film, and there was something I didn't like about it. And when I worked in London, if I was walking down Tottenham Court Road, I'd cross the road to avoid the Dominion. Something said to me there's something evil around there.
Yeah, sinister.
Something sinister. And do you know what I found out? There's a torture chamber during World War II to torture German prisoners.
Oh.
Dominion, Tottenham Court Road, round the back of it.
Yeah.
So I was picking up that terror those poor souls felt. I was actually picking it up. So, you know, because I used to feel a kind of strange stress and a strange feeling. It's like, you know, and it's very so there. negative things. I mean, because people don't realise that during World War II, we had a series of torture chambers where we used to torture people for information. You know, we weren't that nice.
Oh no.
Go both ways.
Yeah, you see these films of World War II, it's always violins. And I think the Germans lost because they had this incessant drumming music. You know, but please stop this bloody German drumming music. It's always.
The Germans, the Nazis were very into the occult.
Yes.
So was Churchill.
Yeah.
And did you know that witches in Dover did go away ceremonies
Right.
during World War II?
Oh,
Yes.
Never knew that.
Yes, and Himmler was very much into the occult, and he had occult areas and things like that. And if a German woman, her future husband, got killed, and she was, or her husband got killed and she was pregnant, she just married, she used to go through with the marriage, and they used to have his steel helmet there to represent him, and they'd still be married. So she'd have a marriage certificate. So the child would be born not out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they did, because it was very, very sort of strict in those days. But people don't realise that. So you had women that are marrying a steel helmet. Hello. Handy for a tortoise, though, isn't it? You know, tortoise would have his mate, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's like an inflatable dog or tortoise, isn't it? You know, still. Hello, darling.
Not could have married the hat stand.
Yes. That's right. Yes.
Shall we have an advert?
Once was like a fridge. In fact, a fridge, dating a fridge would have been better, actually, you know, because at least when you open the fridge, you open the door, the light comes on, but without the light never came on. She was like, But
shall we have an advert?
I think we're overdue for an advert, and later on we need one for what's that place? Codes the Unknown?
Something like that. Yeah.
Some sort of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll have this one first.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
At Fockham Discs, we like to supply you with singers from all over the world. Come by and browse our selection of albums. Their unique sounds will appeal to any discerning ear. Let's see what's in stock this week. Here's Loretta Fudge, for example, who's fingering and praying for the Lord. Oh. Greg Kendrick is telling us... Then we have the fabulous Beth and Rex Moore with this. Just look how smart the Ministers Quartet are. And the Faith Tones, beautiful family. There's Charla and Tommy McNeely, who seem to need an exorcist. The Gospel Airs Trio gives us this, and Rick Taylor is presenting... And then we have the Golden Eggs, with stunning songs such as Porridge and Prayers, To Him I Am Beautiful, I Felt Him Come, and Morning Glory. Well, how lovely. And moving along from all the touching and arriving, we have a truly uplifting album from Freddie Gage. Well, at least the former president of the USA is still rocking. So call in and check out our selection of smooth sounds.
Sorry. I say my funny fun. He touched me.
A lot of touching.
He's coming. Yeah, that singer certainly looked in a sticky situation, didn't he? He's sitting there.
Oh well.
Yes, I think that's on the. I think one of those was on the Jimmy Savile label, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Savile Travis label. Anyway.
Sorry, that it really has hit my funny bone. That one was. People actually bought those records.
It's hard to believe they're true, but they are.
There was a
one of them's got a price tag on it. I know.
I thought you'd made that up.
No.
Oh, actual records. But there's also was it a Swedish group called I Crapper?
Yeah. Yeah.
You reckon you could get away with that now?
Yeah, probably not. There's also one. What was it? group called Farter or something, FAR.
That's it.
Yeah. They'll be coming up shortly, I would think, in the next advert.
Nice.
But those gospel ones, they're the real funny ones, isn't it? I mean, they're absolutely classic. They are. I mean, yeah.
I had to have about 50 attempts at doing the voiceovers because I just
Absolute work of
Couldn't do
genius
it.
there, Deb. I like it. I think that's classic. I mean, that bloke with the hair. I mean, how on earth? I mean, the hairspray must have.
there's a worse
Hello.
one than that, but it's not a photo album, so I couldn't include it. I'm like,
Good
his hair goes kind of like a pyramid upside down.
But out of those girls, I mean, did they ever marry? I mean, what sort of bloke would fancy them?
Well,
Someone needed to go to Specsavers, I would assume.
yeah.
It was like, mind you, they're the sort of people I meet. They'd be drawn to me, they would. Do you find, I don't know about you, but I'm actually a magnetic attraction for nutters. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't go by public transport. And one of the reasons I don't go by public transport is that, one, I can't stand public transport. But if there's a loony, they'll always sit next to me. And they'll always be, hello, I've got a nuclear bomb in my handbag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Classic, that is.
I get them as well.
You're a magnetic attraction to loonies. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I could be
Give us a
halfway.
signal.
I could be halfway across the other side of the street and they'll still come over.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Magnet.
It's like, no. Start like running off. Yes, I can run. Just.
No.
I had a woman in a cinema once, and the people girls was killing ourselves laughing. I'm sitting there innocently. So in the intermission, there's this, I don't know what they were. They were a group of people with, I don't know, what would you call it? I wouldn't say learning difficulties, but shows a bit. And there's a girl who took a fancy to me in the front seat, and she had an ice cream. She's trying to smash it onto my nose. So I go, she goes, oh, ice cream. I was going to go, get out. You know, it's just bloody, what do you call it? Mr. Whitley ice cream. Yeah.
Mad.
But,
I've never had to fight someone with an ice cream before now.
I mean,
no, it was
But
very embarrassing.
I'm not giving up hope.
No, but I mean, it was much to the amusement of everybody sitting around. Me trying to get out of the way of this bloody ice cream. Was leaning over the chair, and the carer said, "Now, calm down," whatever her name was, Molly or whatever. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's not worried about me getting a bleeding ice cream in me nose.
yeah, it's fine.
Yes. But,
When you get outside, she tries running you over. That's when you want to worry.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think I do think we got an advert for the Codes of the Unknown coming up.
Yes, I have it lined up. I did have it lined up.
Well, by the way, should I wear a wig next week?
I think you should. I
Yeah.
think you should.
Yeah.
A
Well,
ginger
I've got more.
toupee.
No,
Yeah.
just a big, like.
Like that bloke. The old-
Afro.
No,
Afro.
like full round.
Yeah.
Snap it sticking out.
Oh, the new look.
Like a balaclava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the Codes of the Unknown.
I think I might need to make a new one.
Yeah, I think you should.
Considering we changed the name,
Yeah.
There
and
is
we're not
that,
using that logo anymore, and
Yes. Yeah,
it's
we
still
need
the
update.
same. It's still the same link, so
We need the update. Yes, we do.
yeah, I'll make one tonight when I go to bed.
Yeah. Just dash it
It's,
off.
it's a very good one though.
Yeah, I'll keep it short like that one. I'll just change the imagery of it.
Imagery. Yes.
If that's not a real word, I made it up last week, and I'm keeping
No,
it.
it is a real word. You've got it right this time.
Yeah, I struggled last time. Spat
I don't have
everywhere and
to-
everything.
I don't have to insert that into Boovy's dictionary.
No, there's no room left. You ran out of pages, ain't you?
Right. Should we go into chat? I've been trying to star a few off here, and
right.
I do apologise. Blimey, I didn't know it was that boring. And
Been awake since 5 o'clock.
Right.
oh, blimey.
5. Yeah, no, not through
Actually-
choice. I don't
Well,
get up till about 5:30, but went to a Halloween party Saturday night, and
Still haven't recovered.
well, yeah, hangover's just about kicking in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a bit.
Right. So we got some good ones in chat here. First of all, is Ralph said that Richard D. Hall. I know Richard.
Yes.
I've been to a couple of his what do you call it? Not shows, but presentations. I met him several times. Richard D. Hall got some publicity on the BBC today. He's on the Panorama program tonight. Yeah, Richard D. Hall is richplanet.net. So
Yes.
you go on to richplanet.net
Yeah.
and they had the old, the snotty Horizon camera. Oh, Mr. Hall, no. I actually loathe the BBC. In fact, I loathe it so much. Do you avoid it if they approach you about the paranormal, Andy or Deb? Do you find
We've
that
never been approached by the BBC? Amazon Prime's different.
I've
Really?
been approached by a tramp in a car park trying to sell a TV. Deb will send you a video. I swear to God, it was on TikTok, right? It has got to be. You'd think it was scripted. It is the funniest, just 5 minutes you'll ever see on TikTok.
It's I'll send you it, Chris.
I would have bought this TV off him. Put it that way. It is that good.
I'll have to see that. We have to put that on one week.
I'll send you it. We'll try and get it on.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Brilliant.
You'd have to do it as a file share. You couldn't upload it because of the size of it. Anything over 200 meg, you can't do anything with it.
No, that's it.
You just got a file share.
That's a shame.
We'll work it out.
Yeah. But we got here, Ancient Ruby says, personally, I have high-pitched sounds when approached. And somebody said, when approached by spirit.
Oh, right.
Ruby. So I don't know.
Picks up on high-pitched sounds then. Spirit approaches.
Yes. And I'll tell you what I've actually had. It's right. The city of York is haunted.
It is.
Yes. Very.
Roman soldiers.
Well,
they've got the underground there, haven't they?
Yeah. Now,
no,
I haven't mentioned this before, but I have sort of. You know that place I used to work at where I saw that little boy in Edwardian gear that was sort of looking at me.
Yeah.
I said, hello. I thought he was a little boy in fancy dress costume or something. And anyway, he just disappeared. And the caretakers often saw him. He said he got used to him. Well, I had a strange situation at this place. I mean, it was an idyllic place to work. It was an old manor house or big house, grade 2 listed, that had been converted into offices. Right. And it was absolutely, when you worked there, the first day you were there, your eyes kept wandering outside, seeing all the beautiful fields and trees. And it was absolutely heaven. And I enjoyed working there. I worked there twice. I had 2 contracts there. Anyway, on with the story. One day I was particularly stressed out. We had this stressful job on, you see, and there used to be at the bottom of the corridor, there's like a little kitchen where you made a cup of tea for yourself, and go back to the office. And next, the one side of the kitchen was a toilet, you see. And I had this sort of like neck ache with tension. You sometimes get a stiff neck.
Yeah.
Now, this place was, it was a hospital, I think, before the First World War. It's a children's hospital. And during the First World War, it had... I think it was a hospital then. Then it was taken over after the war by, I assume, the family that had it before the war. I just don't know, but it fell into disrepair. And the architects that I worked for, they'd actually bought this place and done it up, you see.
Right.
And they got it cheaply. Yeah. Anyway, it was beautiful. And one day, I could hardly move. I got out of my car. I was all sort of, blimey, and I got into work. And I was big neck ache. I was stressed out, tensed. And I went down to the where he made a cup of tea, and I was standing there, and there's no one around. It was all quiet. And suddenly I felt something come up behind me. So I looked round. I said, "Oh, no one there." I thought, "Bit bloody strange this is." And I felt this presence. Now I went to the loo. I thought, well, I better get rid of something before I get some tea to put some more in. You see,
Make some
I'm a
room.
bit of a teaholic, you see. So I went to the loo, and as I was in the loo, I felt there was somebody looking at me, and I was thinking, "No, there's no one here." It was one of these. It wasn't a male female. It's just a sort of a crapper and the door, that type. So anyway, I thought, this is bloody strange. So I came out. I was just making myself a cup of tea, dumping the old tea bag out, and this presence, and then I felt something blow on my neck. I thought, this is bloody but I wasn't creeped out or anything, because this place had good vibes about it, you see. So then I felt something massaging my neck and back, and something came into my mind saying, calm down, you're gonna be all right, calm down, you'll be all right. And I wouldn't say it's a voice, it was something in my mind. And then when I came back to the office, people said, bloody hell, you look spaced out. And I was sort of I said, and I thought, well, I better not say it because I think I'm going bonkers, but something actually massaged my back and neck. I just felt this sort of feeling just here, around the back. I was thinking, this is creepy. And I'm standing there holding my tea and got my tea bag in. And I go, oh. It was really weird. And I'm wondering whether it might have been a ghost of one of the nurses.
Possibly. Quite possibly, yeah.
Because I was all sort of, somebody put, I think someone said, somebody put something in your tea or something. I mean, what's wrong with it? I was always like, hey, and my back and my neck pain had just gone.
Yeah. There you go, you see.
Could have been.
I had a strange toilet incident.
Really?
Wow.
When Silence of the Lambs came out, we went to the pictures to see it, and it's a Primark now, but it was the Odeon in Leeds, big old building on a corner, right in the middle of Leeds. And we'd gone to see Silence of the Lambs, and I was like, I should have gone to the loo before I started, but I was busting for a wee, and of course you're drinking pop, and I said, I'm going to have to go to the loo. So I went down and I went into the foyer. There was nobody about because everybody was in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Went down this massive flight of stairs right down into the bowels of the place where the toilets were. And then you went over a really long carpeted corridor into the toilet. So I went into the loos, had a wee and what have you. And as I'm in there, I heard the door open and I heard somebody walking along. And I'm thinking, there's all these because I don't go to the first loo. I always have to go to like third or fourth.
Yeah.
And the person was like walking along slowly. And I'm thinking, why haven't they just picked a toilet and gone in? Anyway, I flushed the loo and I came out and I had a look round. All the doors of the toilets were open and there wasn't a single person inside. And I was like, oh no, I need to get out of here. I could not get up that bloody staircase fast enough. It was just, and somebody definitely came in because the door creaked when it opened. They came in and they didn't come out again. And I heard them walking along because the doors went straight to the floor. Nowadays, there's like a gap underneath. But in those days, the door went to the floor.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see anybody walking, but I could hear them walking past the toilet and they never came back the other way.
So it's a phantom crapper.
The phantom crapper.
Yes, it's the phantom crapper. He strikes again. Bit like bit like the phantom raspberry blower of old London town, isn't it?
That's the one. David
So it's a phantom crapper. But do you ever get the feeling you're being looked at?
Yeah, sometimes. Not often.
Not always.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I've got a funny woman that lives opposite me. She's always looking at you.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you... quick question when you're saying that. Do you ever get it if you're sat in traffic, you feel like the people in the car outside of you are looking at you, you turn, you see them turn away, they're quick.
Yeah.
So if you get that from someone who's living, so to speak, it's the same feeling as when you're getting it when you can't see who it is that's looking at you.
Yeah.
You've just got that intuition.
Have you ever done that thing when
Yes.
you've been sat on a bus and you've stared at the back of somebody's head and they start going like that, looking round because they can feel that somebody's
Yeah.
looking at them? That's a brilliant trick, is that?
When I was at school, a mate of mine said, and my dad told me this as well, and his dad told him this. He said, if you're walking along and there's some girls in front of you, focus on them and say, look round,
Yeah.
and they will.
Yeah. It does work.
They'll always look round.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing. It's a sort of a kind of command thing, but I do believe in telepathy. 100%.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, how many times you put your hand on the phone rings, it's the person you're going to phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times in the past.
Have you ever done it, though, when you phone someone and you both say the same thing when you answer, yet neither of you have ever said that thing to each other before?
Yep, done
Yeah.
that too.
I
Like,
rang my
F off.
cousin. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I rang my cousin the other week and I was just about to say, all right, sausage. And he said, all right, sausage.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I was like, did you just... And we had like discussion about how we called each other sausage, and we'd never called it that to
No.
either of us before. Yeah,
Weird.
we kind of grew up together, so more like brothers than cousins. That are pretty close. There's only a couple of years between us, but it's just very weird.
Yeah, it is.
You ever get words come into your mind that you've never heard of
Yes.
before?
You have to look
I
them
want-
up.
Yeah. And do you know that tune by the Small Faces? Was it Hello, Mrs. Jones, how's your bird's lumbago? What's that one?
don't
No room
know.
for ravens. Do. No, there's no
Oh,
room.
no,
It's
the
the Small
tune.
Faces.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, the
Lazy
tune.
Friday afternoon, is it?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
That's the one. Well, this has happened to me twice. Once with that tune, one with another tune. The only time I listen to the radio is in my car.
Yeah.
Years
Me too.
ago, and I was just thinking that tune. I put the radio on, it was on, being played. Now you don't hear it that often nowadays, do you? Small
No, not that
Faces,
tune,
Lazy
no.
No,
We were
and it's happened
talking
with
about...
other tunes.
Sorry. Just going to say we were talking about this on Friday night in the chat about you think of a song and then you'll put the radio on and it's there playing.
Yeah.
Even if it's some... I don't know, there's more chance of it coming on if it's something current.
Yeah.
But if it's something from like 20, 30, 40 years ago, even longer, chance of you hearing it are like zero.
I did that years ago, about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I got in the radio and in my head I was singing Faith by George Michael, just out of nowhere. And I'm singing away, started the car, put the radio on, and I was exactly at the same spot in the song that he was singing. It was bang on, and I'm like, oh my God, what's that about?
Well, tonight, I just got to tell you, so me and we went shopping before. Like, I finished work, went shopping, and was listening to the radio, I think it was Heart FM or whatever, and driving back, sat in traffic, because everyone else decided it was going out same time as us. And I was singing in the car or the van, and that's as public as it's going to get.
Yeah.
But we make our own words up. And me and Becky,
Yeah.
we sang the same bit of the song before it had started. We both made words up to it, but we made up the same words.
Yeah.
And we just
Yes.
looked at each other like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We both just started laughing. We could have made anything up to go with that song, and the exact same like parody version of the song, we both did exactly the same, spot on, same part of the song, everything. Very creepy.
It is weird.
That is a lot of creepy things happen like that. I'll tell you one that happened the other week. I happen to like Aida, but that's from, and I had the particular record from that on, and in my mind, put Classic FM on. That's about any radio program I hear when I'm in the car. And bleeding Aida came on. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Weird.
It is.
You know, it's very, very weird. Now, we got here, Mike Wright says, you're dead right, Chris. Some manifestations just repeat the same patterns, but others react intelligently.
Yeah.
Yes. And we've got here, Flat Earth says, Chris, you kind of look like that spooky guy from the film Poltergeist. Oh, thank you. You don't make friends with infamous people, don't you? You know. No,
Lovely. Louise is
Yes.
saying,
Yeah.
Chris, you have a solar panel for a sex machine. Don't wig it over.
It's been a bit cloudy today, so it hasn't been
I'm
working so
charged up
well.
enough.
Yeah.
That's right. But I'll tell you something. Postman rang the doorbell and he sort of goes, solar powered doorbell, you see,
Oh, yeah,
that's nice.
Bless him.
Came back 3 times, Yeah, this one's interesting. I
Oh.
communicate with a Bigfoot in the woods near me, it's Louise Thorne. I feel him and he leaves me signs.
Oh,
Isn't that nice?
Woodworth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, man,
Yes.
Woodworth.
It says here, many spirits are trapped usually repeat what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, on that, if they don't want to leave, if
Yeah.
they're not ready for going, they just keep reenacting.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're like what they did when they were here.
That's a sort of happy place sort of thing. What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew a girl, and I'm not joking here, you're going to laugh at this, and she said she had a Randy spirit that would touch her in rather embarrassing places, like her nose or ear. She goes, oh, like this, and she actually felt this spirit that was a bit randy.
I never
Have
get
you ever
that.
heard of that?
I've heard of it,
Right.
yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've never had that. but I've heard of it. She reckons it, but I don't know. It might have been of her imagination. I just don't know.
It could have been an incubus or a succubus.
It could have been anything like that, couldn't it?
The late bus.
Yeah.
Yes. She could have earned a fortune out of it with frustrated old maids,
Yeah, exactly.
10 quid a night to sleep in my bedroom, See, it makes everyone happy. The spirit's happy and the person sleeping there happy. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win situation.
All round.
Now it's got here Michael Benteen's Potty Time, a show with fleas running around, a tank of sand, laugh out loud, and he spoke to them, showing my age.
I remember that.
Not got a clue what you're talking about.
You would. I'll find you a picture of Michael Benteen and send you it because you'd know who he is. Definitely.
Vaguely recognise the name, but
it's part of our childhood. You'd know who he is.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm a hands-on healer with great success for others. Well, I don't know, that spirit in that girl's bedroom, he was a hands-on healer as well.
A lot of them albums are hands-on as well.
Could have been a good selling point for the house, couldn't it? The estate agent goes in. Right. Here's a Randy spirit. My friend goes to a spiritual church. She gets a lot out of it. Yeah.
It's nice. The atmosphere is really like comforting and it's nice. I like it.
Yes, but now it says here, mind you, there are spiritual churches. They're called pubs.
Well, yeah, there is that as well.
Yes. I left the local spiritual church. The lady that took circle was an energy vampire.
Ooh, well, it's not good in a spiritualist church. No,
That's interesting. Yes.
I'm glad I've never come across that.
Yeah,
no, I won't crack the clairvoyant joke again, will I?
Oh, what?
About the laughing clairvoyant. that I hit because I always like to strike a happy medium. Sorry.
That's right, yeah.
Right. So it says, you are all light and love, a soul that is pure and can heal. Yes, yes. I think we all have the healing power.
Yeah,
I think empaths have it even at a greater rate.
Yeah.
Because all healers, all the good healers are empathic. They will have feelings because you take on. Do you find this, Deb or Andy, that I think you two are probably empaths? Do you feel that?
I am a bit, yeah.
Yeah, but you actually take on the feelings of somebody else.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is,
I can turn the telly on, and within 10 seconds, if somebody's crying on the telly, I'm crying as well, and I have no idea what they're crying about.
Yeah.
But I have to try and stop myself doing it because it's just like I can't stop myself doing it, to be honest.
I know what you mean, but I'm not really talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really over the top with that. I've got to be bloody.
I crack cartoons.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah.
I grew up there.
When I get a letter from the Inland Revenue, I turn the sobbing my heart out.
Most people do that, yeah.
But no, when you think about it, though, that is all part of this sort of spiritual thing, because the healers of years ago were the empaths.
Yeah.
They were the ones that would sort of, because you sort of they tune in on the person's sorrow, and then.
Yes.
But the thing is that, do you find that you do attract some people? That this is what I'm finding out. I thought I was just attracting not weirdos, but people, odd people, and the reason why is because they need healing and they're coming to you for healing. That is the real reason for it, and you don't realise it, But
you don't want to come to me for healing.
No,
well, that'd be two of us that'll need healing by the end of it.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm not worse off.
Yes, that's right. But this is interesting from Louise. I do hands-on, but mostly with my eyes. Healed my husband's horrific tennis elbow. He purged it overnight. That's lovely, isn't it?
I've had tennis elbow. It's hot. It's absolutely awful.
I've had it, and also,
No.
it's like you can't describe it, can you?
No.
It's like I've had tennis elbow.
I was horrified because I never even played tennis.
Yeah, no.
How about
So
please
Louise
says
she's a medium. I'm a medium, Chris.
I'm large.
Ah.
I knew you was going to say that.
No, I think that's brilliant, Louise. Well done.
And she's come on to say, what was it? I'm an what?
Evidential medium.
Evident, yeah.
I'm about 10 stone myself. I'm excellent at names given to me. Memory linked to the sitter.
Oh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
And question is Andy your husband, Deb?
No.
No. Yes, now that's it.
That would be a strange relationship, considering I live in Leeds and Andy lives in Northampton.
Yes,
and we've only met 3 times.
Yeah. I live in Tottenham.
We've known each other over a year, but we've only met 3 times.
Yeah.
Now it says here, there are a few in Blackpool. Is there really? We won't go to that. I keep meaning to go with my friend, and she gets so much out of it. Oh, I suppose you think the Spiritualist church.
Some places have a couple, and then other places don't have any at all. It's really weird how they kind of spread out. And you'd think in this day and age there'd be more than there are.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what makes me laugh is the American preachers, you can be healed, send $20 today and you'll be saved. Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Andy Codes, can you have a reading from a medium over the internet messenger? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, see, I thought about doing that, but then, I'm not saying I'm not convinced, but with it being like over a stream, I don't mean like water, but like over, with it being electronically connected,
shouldn't make any difference.
Will that not interfere with the actual reading?
No, it shouldn't make any difference. I wouldn't have thought.
I don't know.
If they're linked into you.
Yeah, I'm scared what they might find. To be honest.
I love it.
Why do you think like going in graveyards? I've got to get rid of my skeleton somewhere.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I keep saying I want the reading. I haven't had the reading for years.
Yeah. I've only ever had 2. One when I was 20, and the other one was about 4-5 years ago.
Yeah.
They're the only 2 I've ever had.
I had a friend that had one every week, and that's just, there's no point doing that really, because it's just.
What about tarot reading? Have you ever had tarot reading?
I've got tarot cards. I can read tarot cards.
I can read them. I don't know what they mean.
I don't do
my ones because I just don't. I've got some, but I don't. I feel a bit creepy about them. I don't know.
Oh,
I
I
don't understand them, to be honest. I've got 3 packs there. Me and Deb did a swap there.
yes, we did.
So I gave her. Because the thing is with tarot cards, you're not supposed to buy your own. You have to have them given to you. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to touch them or anything. So you have to. They have to be gifted to you for them to be
Ah.
Yeah,
to work better.
yeah, that's true.
So I got given these, and there was in a purple. Was it like a silk handkerchief? I know it was inside a Quality Street tin, but
A silk
it
square, yeah.
was like a silk handkerchief wrapped around these tarot cards.
Yeah.
And I'd never touched them, never used them. So I said to Deb, "Look, do you want them?" So when we met up, it was when we went to
Hull.
Temple
It
Abbey.
was, no, it wasn't. It was Hull.
Was it Hull? Oh yeah, Hull.
We did a load of swatches at Hull.
Yeah. So she gave me. I've actually got them here. So I've got Oracle tarot cards, Power Animal Oracle cards.
Yes.
They're the 2 big packs, and then I've got smaller one. Can't even see it. Magical.
Unicorn, is it?
That's
Oh.
lovely, isn't it?
I can't read that from there. I can't remember what they were. Is it Lenormand?
Magical.
Lenormand?
Yeah, Lenormand.
They're good cards.
Lemonade. Yeah,
That's interesting because there's a shop. It's an unusual shop in Waltham Abbey, opposite where Miles has his shop, called White Witch,
All
and she
right.
often gets people throwing holy water in there because I think it's to do with witchcraft and stuff. But
Is that
this
the
is
one in
white
the Market
witchcraft, which is
Square?
completely different. Sorry,
Is that the one in the Market Square?
that's it. Yeah,
I know what you mean.
yeah, run by Debbie.
Ooh.
Yes, but that's right. Now we got this is an interesting one. Sean Hamer. I don't understand the concept of going to someone else to say, "Tell me about me," but that is largely because I know the self is merely a maintained notion born of ignorance, weakness, and doubt.
Oh.
Now that is very sort of deep meaning. That is very interesting. Thanks, Sean. Let's throw something into it. But I
don't
think
it's not so much tell me about me, but I mean they do tell you about you, but they also tell you about things that are coming up in your life and
Things around you.
Yeah.
it's like everybody dreads the death card, which is the Hanged Man, because I actually went on a course on this once. I went to evening classes on it, but actually that means a change in your life.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
The Hanged Man.
The end of something and the start of something new.
That's right.
It
Because
depends
he's
if
got
it's
one leg
upside down as
that's
well.
tied up, hasn't he?
There's the death card and the hanged man. There's the two different cards.
Yes.
But the hanged man's usually you're sort of in limbo over something or
That's it.
you're tied to
Yes.
something.
Because he's got, was it one leg hanging down, one leg hanging up,
Yeah.
upside down?
Yeah, and
But
like
what is the death card then? There's the other. I can't
That's-
remember. Can you?
the death card's the end of something.
Yeah, so it could be the end of a
Yeah.
chapter and the start of a new one.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry,
Yes.
Ancient Ruby's just put, it's not true. You choose a card by your own feeling and guidance. Now, I've always been told that you have to have them handed to you by somebody else.
Right.
So,
It's
maybe
funny
not.
because Ruby says, wait a minute, if I can
Hang on,
find
well, Joe Weeks says there are spirit guides. I do agree. I believe there are.
Definitely.
Yes.
I can't find it now, it's disappeared.
What you're looking
Yeah,
for.
okay.
Ruby had actually said when we were saying about cards, you had to there you go. Cards you have to be bought them yourself.
Yeah, she said someone lied to you. I probably did. But because they didn't know anything about tarot cards, I presume that they were telling the truth. Maybe they didn't know.
Could it be your past though? Because do you believe in reincarnation? Because I think you sometimes meet people in the past and you meet them again. You feel drawn towards somebody. You think, that's strange.
I believe in old souls.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm not 100% convinced on reincarnation.
No. Well,
I am in certain circumstances. I mean, there's that boy in India that told of his past life and having been shot and everything, and he even had a birthmark where he said he'd been
Yeah.
shot. Hey, up,
See,
he's gone down again.
Hey,
Went
yeah,
to the
the
dark
haunting
side.
comes again. Every bloody week it does
I
that,
don't know
doesn't it?
what happens.
Isn't it
Is it on a
weird?
timer?
I don't know. It's
One of
just
them
I'm
buttons
sitting
you
there doing
push
nothing. The bloody
and
thing
cock
goes
up.
off on again. It's
He's got
every
a
week,
ghost
isn't it?
that goes, oh,
When
we've
you
had enough
stay,
of him.
yeah, when you stay at a bed and B&B in Blackpool, and don't want you run up a massive electricity bill for leaving lights on our weekend.
Reach in and put light off.
Some
What's his
buttons that you
ancient-
press, you can hear them popping back
I
out.
think. But sorry, with it, all this electromagnetic electricity we have around us is causing problems. And I've got a funny feeling that people will think electric cars are haunted because they're not haunted because electromagnetic resonance is giving off. But
Yeah.
I says, yes, you do, Chris. No, only on Wednesdays, and if there's an hour in a month, and usually you come here with the three.
Three?
I
Maybe
think she's
three
thinking
what?
about spirit guides.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
We got here. Louise says, I give actual evidence of the past loved one's life, memory links, how they passed, age, and what they look like, etc. The other thing you see is that what about people who were absolutely evil to you in your past?
Yeah.
Them coming in on a seance. This is what I would always be worried about. Someone that was not particularly nice to me.
Yeah.
Could they come in?
Sometimes they can. Depends if they've still got some sort of
Bit of love in
attachment
them?
to you, grudge or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. And Dark Angels said, you need to be careful, Andy. This may be on the list of phenomena you experience.
Yeah, I did get an email from that person, so
yeah,
I did reply as well.
Oh, well, I mean,
So
you know,
it's all good.
Now we got here, what's this? Sue Coe says, a friend of mine did the board and ended up having to get a vicar in to cleanse her flat.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is people that don't know what they're doing. I used to use the Ouija board and I've never had a problem, but then I did proper protection beforehand and just asked for the brightest and the best spirits to come, and I never had a problem with it. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else. I wouldn't start going, oh yes, you need to use a Ouija board, because I don't agree that they do. And I've got rid of mine. I've been rid of mine for years. I give it to a charity shop.
What you need to do, buy a job lot, tell everyone they need to do it, start selling them out. Double your money.
Well, before I think it was 1967 or 68. You can actually buy Ouija boards in toy shops.
Yeah, because they were designed for children.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, was it
Hasbro?
What are they called? American.
Oh, Mattel.
That was it.
Yeah.
Was it 1904 or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
And he said, "Can you prove that it works?" And the guy who made it did a Ouija board, and he got a reply. And went, "Yeah, we'll take it."
Yeah.
That's quite incredible. That is.
It is really.
Louis Tom says, "I'm half Romany. My father was."
No. Romany gypsies are different, aren't they? It's just these new ones.
Well, my ancestors are. I'm half Welsh. Well, hang on, no, I'm half Welsh and half Cornish. So that's me. You know, but
I'm a quarter Irish.
Dark Angel says they have psychological problems because they have been abused. I 100% agree with you there, because you notice these people that do rather unsavoury are in this rather unsavoury industries that the majority of people wouldn't do.
Yeah.
There is some form of abuse in their lives.
Yeah.
Which is sad, you know. Yeah. This is why I always feel, what was it Robin Williams said? Everybody's fighting a battle, always show kindness.
Yes.
So I think that's the thing.
Exactly.
This is an interesting one. Come on, you lot, smash the thumbs up.
There you go, you see.
And subscribe.
That's Joe's admin jumping in there.
That's it. Thank you very much. Now it says here, through the occult, that's where so-called superiority of the Aryan race came from. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Apparently, the Nazis opened a couple of portals, didn't they?
Yeah, allegedly.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's an interesting one. You know, that because I know they both did mess around with the black arts and things like that. Because you know that what was it now? Oh well, Churchill was into it because he got one of his advisors was Aleister Crowley, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, I don't know about you, but should we? What's this? Someone flat earth talking about? What was it? You were talking about farts. Yes, I wonder if you have spiritual farts. So you walk into a room and you think, what's that? And is it a dog? No. My God,
spirit trumpet.
It's a spirit trumpet. My sister and her husband used to get
Sky trumpet.
Yeah.
the smell of cooking. No, the old night. It smelled like the 1930s cooking. And she went to the elderly couple that lived there. Hang on, what's this? You must always use a light of protection before you talk to the spirit.
Yes.
Well, I have crystals, mainly obsidian. So they're all scattered around where I sit. So
that's very interesting.
I do try.
What's this? Dark Angel split trouser.
Is that why you smell sulphur?
Smell how down Loch Ness.
Fabulous. Love it.
That's funny.
Well, they reckon Andy's going to become Prince of Loch Ness, and they're going to call him the Loch Ness Noncer, aren't they?
Yeah.
Telepathic communication, and sadly lost in many people.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's quite true.
Just lost the knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Now, this is an interesting one from Ancient Ruby. Tarot was originally used as a prop, just like a crystal ball, yet if read by the book, it can mislead information.
I don't read by the book. I read by what comes through. I don't do them very often because I have nobody to do them for. Gaz isn't interested. Last time, when I first started taking it up and I was doing it by the book, I got him to shuffle it all and laid it out in the Celtic cross and everything. And I sat back with my cards and he picked them all up, sanded up and handed me them. And I went, what have you done that for? And he said, I thought you were going to read them. I said, I just laid them out to read them. Leave them alone.
Did you end up wearing them?
Yeah. I ended up stopping off into the kitchen, I think.
Well, it's quite interesting. But now you're talking about crystal to protect you. We did a film. Yeah. Do you remember that film I showed where we was in a cafe?
I've got that film.
I've got one of those crystals and it actually stops electromagnetic radiation. I think you see it, didn't it?
I've got it somewhere.
Well, the one I've got... So that's obsidian.
There it is. Got it.
Oh, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is actually off Wish.
Yeah. God, they sent something right then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you hold it up to the light, you can just about see through it.
See through it, yeah.
And they have a gargoyle protecting it.
Yes. This is the Shungite experiment with
that's
the
it.
Take the sunlight away. It goes up and down, doesn't it? It's variable, but it's pretty high. And I think you're pretty close to the sunlight. Well, that's way over 1,000. Put it back.
Right, watch this. Shongo in front. 86. 04, 45 it went down to.
Yeah.
70.
Even like coming near to it.
That is incredible. And it's that very hand that was holding that meter, because that's a meter. And we couldn't believe it. I was sitting there holding the meter, doing that. And we said, bloody hell, that is something, you know. Because Shungite, I think it's Shungite, right? I think it only comes from Russia, doesn't it?
Somewhere like that. It's only sourced in one place, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so that might be a bit of a problem getting it now, you know. Because I know there's Chinese knockoffs of it. Probably plastic or something, you know, that they send you, you know.
Yeah, just look on Wish. We'll have a truckload of it for 50p. 700 quid delivery.
Yeah.
It's a bit like I was saying, I'm talking about these sound gongs, you know, a lot of them are made in a hubcap factory in China. You know,
Yeah,
or general ones. No. Use a dustbin lid, problem.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I don't
Yes,
know
thank
if
you.
we got any more to say, but thank you. Thanks, Andy, for coming on.
Oh, thanks for
Deb
asking.
on
It's been fun.
Darkshire. And before we go, going back to that stand in the park in Kent, which was, I've got to had to write this down, in Moat Park and Gillingham, stand in the park. They're still going very, very strong.
Yep.
And you can go down there every Sunday, and that's same as the one in Cheshunt if you want to go to it. And they're doing this vigil. It's probably over now. I don't know. It's getting on for 10 at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a marvellous thing they've done. And it's a silent vigil. And this, as I say, this chap, I believe Chico went there last year. He's quite famous. And it's a minute's silence. You do that minute silence for all the victims of child abuse.
Yep.
And that is the ones that we hear of and the ones that we don't hear of that have been used by the aristocracy for years.
Yes.
And I think we all know what I'm talking about, which I can't mention too much on YouTube about.
No,
but
no,
as
we
I say.
can't.
And by the way, BitChute is doing similar to YouTube. They've knocked 2 sites off, saying it's against community standards.
Oh,
It's getting
One
to
was
them
Brian
now, isn't it?
Rowe, and the other one's Dennis Wise, not the
Right.
footballer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they've
Right.
not it's bonkers. So I think they're being pressured by government to do
Yeah.
it, which
Yeah.
is horrendous, you know. So soon we'll only have to sit here talking about fluffy bunnies all
Yeah,
evening.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank
Well-
you very much for joining us tonight. And remember, whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh.
Yes.
Remember, shove the old thumbs up and subscribe. It's free of charge.
Like and
Costs you
share.
absolutely sod all. And see you same time, same place,
And
this
next
time
week.
next week.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
good night.
Bye.
Bye.